Episode 6 of The Last of Us gave us the most jaw-dropping and suspenseful ending yet, with a series of events that could change everything going forward. In this video, we are going to break down everything we saw in Episode 6, explain the ending, and highlight the subtle signs you missed from the episode, all while diving into 5 key takeaways. So, let's get started with our first takeaway. Number 1, the after effects of Henry and Sam. Episode 6 starts off 3 months after the events of Episode 5's ending. The scene kicks off with a man entering a cabin to find Joel holding him at gunpoint. Joel interrogates the man and his wife, asking them where they are, telling the man to point to a spot on the map. Joel asks the two what the best way west is, and they tell him to go east. They say that there is nothing good past the river, that they have not seen what is out there, but they have seen the bodies left over. We wonder if there is an infected out in the woods. Maybe another bloater like we saw in Episode 5. Whatever it is, the thought clearly rattles Joel. But they get going anyway. As they walk out of the cabin, Joel has a moment where he clutches his chest and can't move forward. He says that it is just because of the cold air, but we wonder if there is something more. Could it be an anxiety attack? Or an issue with his heart? As Ellie points out, if anything happens to him, she is out of luck. He shakes it off, and the two start making their way west despite the ominous warning from the couple. As the two are sitting at camp that night, the two talk a little and provide a glimpse of their new attitudes. Although Joel started to open up a little bit in the previous episodes, it seems that he is being very short and reserved with Ellie now. Meanwhile, Ellie is her same snarky and sarcastic self, and it is good to see that she hasn't lost her edge. At the fire, Ellie also confesses to Joel that she knew that Sam was infected and tells him that she tried to treat the wound with her blood. But Joel provides some optimism that a cure would be more complicated than that and could still be possible. The two then discuss who will take watch for the night, and Joel tells Ellie he will take both shifts. Ellie seems like she has grown more confidence in the past 3 months, fearlessly taking the watch as Joel ended up sleeping into the morning. However, Joel seems more protective than ever, upset that Ellie didn't wake him up. After watching the end of Episode 5, our biggest question was how the death of Henry and Sam would affect the pair. And the lingering effects appear to be pretty clear, as the fear of something going wrong seems stronger than ever. As Joel and Ellie make their way through the forest and past the river, everything seems fine, until they are suddenly surrounded by a group of people on horseback with guns. The group points their guns at the pair and release a dog to smell whether or not they have been infected. As the dog sniffs Joel, it senses no threat. They then have the dog sniff Ellie. This was one of the most tense moments of the episode, because we know that she is not infected, but she has been bit, which could result in the dog smelling something. Joel freezes up again, fearing what could happen, showing us another sign that he is more aware of the risks than ever. Fortunately, the dog reacts kindly to Ellie and ends up licking her as she giggles. The man on horseback asks what they are doing, and Joel explains that he is looking for his brother, when a woman comes forward and asks Joel his name. It's clear that she knows something, bringing us to our next takeaway. Number 2, the reunion. After the confrontation, Ellie and Joel are taken to a community inside a fortress, where we see Joel finally reunite with Tommy. The two are treated to a nice meal by Maria and Tommy, the first good dinner they have had in a long time. During the meal, Ellie is her typical self, swearing, asking for her gun back, and even yelling at a girl across the room for looking at them. If you played the game, you might catch on that the girl Ellie yelled at was very likely Dina, so we look forward to potentially seeing her more in the future. While eating, Joel asks for a moment for just family, but Tommy reveals that him and Maria are married. The two then give Joel and Ellie a tour of the commune. Tommy and Maria explain that everything is collectively shared, including the livestock and greenhouses. An interesting thing to pay attention to in this scene is when Maria suggests taking Ellie to the house to stay somewhere while Joel and Tommy catch up. Ellie seems uncomfortable with the idea, calling to Joel as he starts to walk away. It is important to note that for the past 3 months and beyond, Ellie and Joel have not separated at all, so we understand Ellie's hesitation here, as it shows how much she trusts and relies on him. As they part ways, Joel and Tommy spend some time in the bar catching up. Joel asks Tommy where the Fireflies would be, and he tells him that they have a base at the University of Eastern Colorado. Joel wants Tommy to come with them, but Tommy explains that he has a new life and that he is going to be a father so he can't leave. Joel seems as cold as ever in his conversation. When Tommy tells Joel that he is going to be a father and thinks he would be a good dad, Joel only says, quote, "I guess we'll find out." Although he is extremely emotionless to Tommy and clearly frustrated, we can understand a little of where he is coming from. He spent months looking for Tommy, looking forward to reuniting with him and having something to hope for. However, Tommy is clearly ready to leave his old life behind and regretful of his past. The fact that Tommy has been able to start a new fulfilling life appears to leave Joel feeling a little betrayed, and maybe even a bit jealous since his life has been so different. He even lies about Tess being alive and well. He also lies about taking Ellie to meet family. Immediately after angrily walking out of the bar, Joel grabs onto a pole and starts having another small episode where he grabs his chest and begins breathing heavily. He also has a moment where his attention is grabbed by a little girl in a crowd. The girl looked a little like Sarah, which appears to hit Joel hard in the feelings as he imagines what he could have had if he didn't lose her daughter. Now let's turn to our next takeaway. Number 3, who to trust. While Joel and Tommy were in the bar, Ellie and Maria have the chance to get to know each other a little bit more. Maria offers to cut Ellie's hair, which allows them to talk a little bit. Ellie noticed a memorial in the house and expresses her condolences for Maria's lost children. Maria tells her that only Kevin was her child and that Sarah was Joel's child. This is the first time that Ellie learns that Joel lost his daughter. Maria expresses her reservations about Ellie's relationship with Joel. She tells Ellie to be careful who she puts her faith in and that the only people who can betray us are the ones we trust. Let us know what you thought of this interaction in the comments. Do you think that Ellie has to worry about trusting Joel? Then, later, Tommy and Joel have a moment of reconciliation, as Tommy apologizes for what he said earlier. Joel asks if the journey is safe and then confesses to Tommy that Ellie is immune, explaining the entire backstory. Joel also begins to open up the most we've seen since the beginning of the show, even tearing up. He confesses that he is afraid and displays a lot of strong emotion to Tommy. He tells Tommy that he is failing. He said that he wasn't able to do anything when the dog approached Ellie and couldn't hear an attacker back in Kansas City. Joel wants Tommy to take Ellie to the Fireflies because he is afraid that he won't make it. Tommy seems hesitant, but he says that he will take her at dawn. Joel goes to tell Ellie that she needs to go with Tommy, but it turns out that Ellie overheard the conversation. She feels betrayed by Joel being willing to go separate ways and tries to bring up Sarah. Joel gets defensive and says to Ellie that she doesn't know what loss is. But she tells Joel that everybody she has cared for has either died or left her and that he is the only one who hasn't left her. She says that she would be more afraid to go somewhere without him. We would think that this would resonate with Joel and soften him up a bit. Instead, he tells Ellie the iconic line from the video game, saying, "You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad." And he storms out. In the morning, Tommy and Ellie are getting ready to leave, but they find Joel by the horses. Joel gives Ellie the choice between going with him and Tommy, and she immediately shoves her bag at Joel, choosing him. So, no matter how intense their disagreements are, it seems that they have developed an unbreakable bond. These events lead to an intense ending, bringing us to our next takeaway. Number 4, the ending of episode 6. Despite the exchange from the night before, Ellie and Joel's bond seems stronger than ever as they leave the commune. Joel even helps her practice using a rifle, setting up a target for her and explaining how to improve her shot. He even opens up about his past a bit more, explaining his job before the infection took over. The two are able to make it to the interstate in about 5 days and arrive at the university shortly after. As they do, Ellie is still poking fun at Joel. And it is nice to see the two being able to joke around. Joel seems to have let his guard down a lot, even telling Ellie that he used to want to be a singer when he was younger. They arrive in a building and don't find anyone, but they do find some medical equipment and fresh notes. However, they hear some clattering upstairs. Fortunately, upon further investigation, it only turns out to be wild monkeys and not a clicker. However, the two then hear some voices outside the building, seeing raiders running around outside. They run out of the building and prepare to get on the horse to escape when Joel is suddenly attacked. Joel kills the attacker, but as they look down, they realize that he was stabbed by a piece of the baseball bat. The two get away on horseback, but Joel's wound is bleeding heavily, and he collapses off the horse on final takeaway. Number 5, what's next? In this episode, it was nice to see the relationship between Ellie and Joel withstand some major tests, but the ending could change everything for the rest of the season. We might not get answers right away though. It seems that the next episode is going to focus on what we have all been waiting for. We will finally get a little bit of Ellie's backstory. In the next teaser, we see Ellie with her friend Riley in the mall. We will get the chance to explore their relationship, find out what happened to Riley, and see how Ellie's interaction with the infected actually played out. The Last of Us has done a great job spending whole episodes highlighting particular storylines in depth, so we aren't sure that we will come out of the next episode knowing Joel's fate. But we have to imagine that he will be okay. Ellie is also growing up and becoming more confident, so she may be able to take care of him just fine as he recovers from the wound. However, if Joel recovers, he will likely be even more afraid of the future as he tries to come to terms with failing to stay strong to keep Ellie safe yet again. Episode 7 will release next Sunday, February 26th, and we will be here to break down the action when it does. So let us know your thoughts. What did you think of episode 6 of The Last of Us? Do you think Joel's injury will have a devastating effect? What do you think we will learn about Ellie's relationship with Riley? Let us know down in the comments. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe so we can bring you the latest updates about The Last of Us and the rest of the hottest shows and movies right now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.